Now, given the nation's fascination with the Gates divorce, I wanted to see how the women on this week's Hot Topics panel would see it. Joining me, Tacoma Cityline host Amanda Westbrooke, Living It Up After 50 podcast host Cynthia Andrews, and our New Day producer Suzie Wiley. So recently, the big news and people are talking about is the fact that the Bill and Melinda Gates are getting divorced. And I think the collective sigh was like, aw, because I think we all really like the idea of them being together for a long time. But, you know, Suzie brought up a great question. Would this be considered a failed marriage or not? They've been together 27 years and done a lot of great work together, right?
Right.
Well, you know, 27 years for the Gates. If you were 27 years that you had done anything, wouldn't we call that a success?
Yes.
So the idea that we go to they've failed makes me kind of sad.
And Suzie, I want to tag on to what you said. You talked about how Bill Gates really labored and did the pros and cons, not if he wanted to marry Melinda, but if he could create the balance in order to make this relationship work. Relationships have a freshness date. And they brought in 3 beautiful children into this world. They have made third world countries livable, wonderful places. And just because they choose not to be married doesn't mean they're failures. If somebody breaks up, are they failures as individuals? No.
Exactly. I agree. I think things operate in seasons, and they had a season where they did some amazing things for the world. When we have seasons, we know when our season is over. Wisdom says to know when your season's over, because if you stay past your season, you start to rot.
Yeah.
Things are not so pleasant.
Yeah.
And so I think if they know their season is over, let it be and let us enjoy what they've done for us.
I just want to say that it's not sad, because I am a child whose parents divorced when I was about 30. And there is a sadness and there is a loss, and it does affect a lot of people. But I don't like the idea that we say that somebody failed after 27 years. So
I agree.
I'm glad we all agree on that.
I'm glad that you mentioned that and you brought that point up. Our director of photography, by the way, Derek, says that all relationships have a shelf life of 8 years. And Suzie and I were like, what?
Yeah.
You may finish the theory for me, Suzie.
Yeah, we were both kind of like, wait, what? But then he said they need a refresh, I think is what he said, right?
You need to fall in love again.
You need to, yeah, right. I like that.
We went from what to
Yeah.
All right. May 1st was World National Naked Gardening Day.
Yeah.
I mean, why not all month?
It might be Naked Gardening Month. I don't know. I actually would like to show you something, and we'll put it on the big screen for everyone. But I got this card from a viewer once that said, "Dear Amity, happy World Naked Gardening Day." And then I opened it up and, oh, hey, here he was, naked gardening. And I gotta say, it's one of my favorite correspondence from anyone, because, you know, sharing is definitely caring. How do we feel about this? Apparently, Seattle ranked 3rd best place to naked garden.
I think part of it is because we're so kind. Does that mean when we're out gardening naked, people are kind to us? I don't know.
Or we just don't say anything like, hey, John.
Well, so Suzie, I like your way you're going with that. So then does that mean that we should make billboards that say, welcome to Seattle, we're so kind, we turn the other cheek?
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
Yakima has the Palm Springs of Washington.
Yeah. So you go first with the billboard picture. There you go.
There you go.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I'll pass.
All right.
Well, I was looking on Instagram, and if you hashtag Naked Gardening Day, there are all kinds of suggestive, somewhat sexy and unsexy photos around Naked Gardening Day.
We're going to put that hashtag right up there.
Really?
There are some very interesting, very, very interesting photos. And
yeah.
And a lot of them are men.
Oh my.
They have props.
Yes.
So you must have a prop with you.
Wait, they have a prop. Oh, a lot of them are men with props. Wow.
Well, yeah, and Suzie, they have these watering cans that they have strategically put anatomically correct. And
or incorrect.
Or incorrect. And I'm just like, what's next? You're gonna go buy a big garden hose? I mean,
there you go.
That's it. And Cynthia's right. The women have like, sunflowers covering their décolleté that, we're going to need bigger buns coming in.
Or melons. Some people here are using melons to cover their...
Exactly.
Everybody's going to go to this hashtag now. I love it.
I can't unsee this stuff, ladies. I can't unsee it now.
So I can see that Seattle was number 3 because we first of all, we have overcast, which is good when you're out gardening naked.
So the bits don't get burned.
Exactly.
So, all right, you have not heard the last about naked gardening on this show today. And later on on New Day, Hot Topics continues as we explore such topics as, is composting still sexy? And then at one point, we're all going to confess to how often we wash our sheets. You don't want to miss that. As Hot Topics continues, you'll be amazed at how we weave sustainable living back into the topic of naked gardening and a whole lot more. Cynthia, I know you're really into this waste-free urban living. Will you tell us about this?
Absolutely. I have been working on sustainability projects forever. I thought it was just because I was a single mom and didn't have a lot of money. And so I would just do, upcycling was my thing before it was a thing. But then I started working with some projects with Seattle Tilt Alliance and the Seattle Public Utilities, and started working to help educate people on food waste prevention, because 40% of our food, it goes uneaten. And then clothing and all kinds of different projects that I started working with. Composting is one that's really a big deal right now. I'm working on my garden now and I have a composter out there. I'm trying to
clothed or unclothed?
Are you naked when you compost?
Yeah. I have a high fence, but my neighbors would not want to.
So you're bringing sexy back to composting. I like it.
Sexy back to composting.
All right.
I love what you mentioned, Cynthia, about like upcycling and food waste. And my grandma was staying with me through the winter, and my goodness, we froze everything. And there are these long silver cylindrical items in my freezer, and I pulled it out and I'm holding it up and I'm like, what is this? Frozen bananas. That's right. Chop them in the blender, make a smoothie. There you have it. That's
exactly. It's all about getting back to basics, doing the things that our grandparents and great grandparents used to do. And now the young millennials this is a big deal for them. They are becoming very conscious and responsible about the environment. I love it.
Gardening naked is sexy, and so is composting. Something though that's not so sexy that I think we're all experiencing of all ages is maskne.
That is not a good look.
Like, how old am I? Up here, I'm down here, I'm 12.
12, exactly.
How do you treat anti-aging and puberty at the same time?
Exactly.
If we wait long enough, I will have a hot flash on this. So that's a bonus for everybody.
It's just a good thing you're not wearing a mask.
That's right.
All right. Here's a question for all of you ladies.
Ew.
How often do you wash your sheets?
I change my sheets once or twice a week.
I was raised in a military household where we had things to do every single day. And we change our sheets once a week. Also because I have a real fetish for shabby chic sheets. And I do wash them.
And Suzie, I apparently 1/3 of people in the UK wash their sheets maybe once a year.
Yeah.
How do you fare in that?
Well, I would like to say that I'm somewhere between the once a year and the twice a week.
There's no way. That's too broad a spectrum. The scientist in you says, no, this is a terrible control group.
Oh, man. I'd like to say every 2 weeks. What about you, Amity? Not to deflect.
All right, I'm with you. It's probably maybe twice a...
We're going to go with that because I don't think that's that weird. I think they both are extreme. These two are extreme.
I have grandchildren that come over and they love to spend the night in
Snuggle with you. Yes.
And so, and nothing happens terribly, but I'm that person that I would, when the kids are here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. My kids like to snuggle with me too, and occasionally someone wants the bed, and it's, you know, it's not my kids or me, so you know.
I did think it was amazing that somebody could go a year.
Yeah, like it's a thing, like it's okay. That's a culture. Perhaps it's a cultural thing.
Sure. Naked gardening and not changing your sheets.
Yeah, that's not good.
It could be like herd immunity, only it's sheet immunity.
People who don't wash their sheets have a lot more to worry about than masked knee. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
I love those ladies.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what fun. All right, I don't want to end this show on a sad note, but I did want to end it with kind of a hug. With Mother's Day coming up,